When talking about the world's 1.6 billion Muslims, American presidents are traditionally very careful to differentiate between the vast majority who practice the religion peacefully and the small minority who don't.
There's nothing in there in Islam that condones the kind of brutality that we've seen.
Our actions today were not aimed against Islam, the faith of hundreds of millions of good, peace-loving people.
We are not at war with Islam. We are at war with people who have perverted Islam.
President Donald Trump has not continued this tradition.
Do you think Islam is at war with the West?
I think Islam hates us. There's something there that there's a tremendous hatred.
To understand why Trump is breaking with his predecessors, you have to understand his chief strategist, Steve Bannon. Before he joined the Trump campaign, Bannon ran the far-right website Breitbart, where he hosted a daily radio show.
The second dumbest comment that one of the dumbest presidents in the history of these United States, that would be Bush 43, Shrub as they called him, he made the dumbest being that Islam is a religion of peace.
The face of terror is not the true faith of Islam. Islam is peace.
Islam is not a religion of peace. Islam is a religion of submission.
If you listen to Bannon's radio show and watch his speeches, you start to get a sense of how he sees the world. Bannon believes that the US and Western Europe are in the middle of an historical struggle against Islam itself.
I think if you look back at the long history of the Judeo-Christian West struggle against Islam, I believe that our forefathers kept their son. And I think did the right thing because they combated this and kept it out of the world.
Bannon isn't talking about the American founding fathers. He's talking about European leaders who fought off Muslim conquests in the 8th and 16th centuries. That is the context in which Bannon approaches policy today. This context also helps us understand Bannon's views about refugees from the Muslim world. In a 2015 interview, Bannon and then Representative Ryan Zink of Montana discussed Obama's plan to take in 10,000 refugees from Syria.
We need to put a stop on refugees until we can vet.
Why stop until we vet? I don't understand. What do you mean vet? Why not just stop? Why are you going through all this thing on vetting? The opportunity cost of vetting.
Vetting's important because we don't know.
Why? No, you only vet. Commander. You only vet if you're going to let them in. Why even let them in? To what end? Can't that money be used in the United States? I mean, I think the issue is, should we just take a pause and a hiatus for a number of years on any influx from that area of the world?
Bannon seems to think that Syrian refugees are incapable of adapting to the American way of life.
These are not Jeffersonian Democrats. These are not people with thousands of years of understanding democracy in their DNA coming up here, right?
Before Breitbart, Bannon made documentary films. In the outline for one film, which he didn't end up making, Bannon warns of an Islamist takeover of the United States. The opening scene features the call to prayer and the Star and Crescent flying over the U.S. Capitol building.
It's pretty dark here in Europe right now, but there's something actually much darker, and that is Islam.
Though his current focus is on Muslims, Bannon has expressed a desire to keep all foreign-born people out of the U.S. In a 2015 interview, he disagreed when Donald Trump said that we should keep high-skilled immigrants in the U.S.
You know, we have to keep our talented people in this country. I think you agree with that. Do you agree with that?
Well, I got a tougher, when 2/3 or 3/4 of the CEOs in Silicon Valley are from South Asia or from Asia, I think. On my point is that a country's more like Sessions. A country's more than an economy. We're a civic society.
Bannon is wrong. Less than 14% of Silicon Valley CEOs are Asian, but the fake statistic supports his view that legal immigrants are just as problematic, if not more, than those who are here illegally.
Isn't the beating heart of this problem right now, the real beating heart of it, of what we got to get sorted here, is not illegal immigration, as horrific as that is, and it's horrific? Don't we have a problem? We've looked the other way on this legal immigration that's kind of overwhelmed the country. When you look and it's got 61 million, 20% of the country is immigrants.
The number is closer to 13%, but Bannon's point is that immigrants somehow make America less American. He believes they don't share American values and that even when they're here legally, they take jobs away from native-born Americans. And in this view, Bannon is way out of sync with mainstream Republicans, who, along with business interests like the Chamber of Commerce, have long said they welcome legal immigrants.
We're going to need more legal immigration.
Immigrants are an economic engine of vitality for our country. They make things happen.
We need to figure out how to have more legal immigration.
Immigrants are the lifeblood of our society. I think probably the most dedicated Americans are those who come here as immigrants.
Bannon blames legal immigrants for what he describes as a bleak economic landscape for native-born Americans.
If you're under 30 years old, your children are going to be poor and your grandchildren are going to be paupers.
The only way to stop this from happening, Bannon says, is to rise up against those whom he calls the ruling political class, those who allow immigration, legal and illegal, to continue.
Think about it. If the elites are so good, how did we get in this jam? This is the fourth great crisis in American history. We had the Revolution, we had the Civil War, we had the Great Depression of World War II. This is the great fourth turning in American history.
Bannon's views have already started to influence policy. Multiple news outlets have confirmed that he was behind the executive order temporarily banning travelers from 7 majority Muslim countries and almost all refugees from entering the U.S. A federal judge has temporarily halted the ban, but with the president's ear and a seat on the National Security Council, Bannon's vision of a closed America at war with Islam will continue to influence policy.